Hello, hello, my friends. It is Carrie Konyha at holisticspsychic.com in Sedona, Arizona, coming on with an energy update and activation for the new moon happening tonight, actually just in about an hour or so here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and dive in. This new moon is, I think, on the extra special side because it is the new moon that heralds us into fall. Fall equinox is on September 22nd, so just in about a week from now. I am going to be uploading an additional video that gets a little bit more deeply into the energies of fall and personal growth empowerment practices that we can do for fall. But this is the new moon that brings us into that energy. So for here, I'll say that fall is about receptivity, intuitiveness, and flow. And so this new moon in Virgo is supporting us and encouraging us to recenter in our own frame, in our own energy, in our own presence, like we're turning our attention back towards our inner being, recentering, rebalancing. Anytime we have a change of season, solstice or equinox, it's a time where the elements of nature are finding a new balance, calibrating into a new balance. And we are connected to that and influenced by that, and we collectively contribute to that. And so here I want to talk a little bit about the Virgo energy and how this is, how we can work with it as we're coming into fall and as we're moving through this lunar cycle. So Virgo is an earth sign. One of the archetypes of Virgo, actually, which often gets overlooked, is the archetype of the healer. Now, Virgo energy is known to be really analytical, very good with analysis, detail oriented, organization oriented, but it's an earth sign. So it's a lot about our physical body, our physical health, the orderliness of our physical environment, the orderliness of our flow in life, our lifestyle routines. And so this is the energy that we have available to us to harness as we're moving into not only this lunar cycle, but the season of fall. So this, as we're coming into fall in the northern hemisphere, of course, in the southern hemisphere, it's coming into springtime. But I'm going to talk about the energies that pertain to the hemisphere that I live in, and that most of the people who are connected to me live in, with the exception of a few. And so, yeah, this is a time of reflection. Now, this reflection theme is even more emphasized by the fact that we've got like a bunch of planets retrograde. Mercury, however, Mercury has been retrograde for the past few weeks, and it actually goes direct just like an hour or two after the actual new moon. So we'll talk about that. But the retrograde energies that we've had going on in general serve to support us in reflecting, reviewing, re-evaluating, re-harmonizing, all of that. And this new moon in Virgo, bringing us into the season of fall, emphasizes that aspect a little bit more. It's a time of recognizing how we can optimize our own balance with ourselves. It also is about recognizing how far we have grown this year, how much we have grown this year, and maybe even what we have grown beyond, or what we've grown past, or what we've grown out of. That happens in life, right? So ask yourself these things. This is a really good next few days to have some contemplative journaling and some empowerment journaling as well. Again, empowerment journaling is connected to recognizing, things that you're processing, things that you've been moving through within your awareness, and writing down whatever insights that you have that are connected to what you can, how you can advocate for yourself, how you can move through, how you can support your healing. Again, Virgo being connected to the archetype of the healer, for many of us this may be a time of going through a healing process, but even if it's not, it's still a time of um, feeling naturally inspired to optimize our well-being, both on physical levels and on mental well-being levels, because Virgo is actually ruled by Mercury, which is connected to our mental awareness, our mind, and all things having to do with that. Communication, interacting with people, socializing, studying, learning, evaluating, analyzing, all of those things. So, besides the fact that Virgo is an earth sign and it's connected to these energetic themes that I'm speaking of, we have a bunch of planets in Virgo, right? In earth signs right now. And so, this is very much a time of nurturing our physical bodies, our physical environments. It is also a time of manifestation, and the manifestation energy that's connected to this lunar cycle is about creative expression. And so, arts, crafts, digital creative projects, these are all things that we naturally feel inspired to invest our energies in while the new moon is kicking us off into the cycle in the sign of Virgo. So there's also a lot of planets right now as we're coming into this new moon that are in mutable signs. So the mutable signs bring in flexibility. This is a really good time to not be really rigidly set in your ways. It's a time of going with the flow. Again, as we're coming into fall in the next week here, it's about receptivity, flexibility, flow, surrender. Ultimately, fall is the time where in our receptivity, we can be open to receive the return, the blessings that are connected to however we've been putting our energy out there in life this year. So we're getting like the boomerang is coming back, right? So being in that receptivity. Now, I am going to pull up the astrological chart for the new moon now, just to show you guys a little bit more of what's going on. So let me just add this here. Okay. So I've been working with this new streaming program, and last week in reviewing the video, I noticed that you are not able to see my cursor. So I pre-highlighted some things that I want to talk about here. So you'll see the circles and the little shapes in the middle. Today, I'm going to be talking about just the planets that are connected to the new moon in aspect and in what the transits are right now. So if you look to the right side of the chart and that circle that I have there, I went ahead and I circled the sun, the moon, and Mercury. Now, the sun and the moon are conjunct, which happens each new moon. Mercury is not in that conjunction, but I included that in the circle because it's about to go direct. And it is also opposing Saturn in Pisces. And so I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. So you can see, all right, first let me say that if you have your own chart, look to see where 22 degrees of Virgo is in your chart, what house that is in. And that's going to give you an awareness around the how the energy naturally wants to express for you, but you can work with it consciously and seeing what house Virgo is in, and then you can directly work consciously with that energy by choosing new moon intentions that are connected to the theme that the Virgo house is in your chart. For example, I do have several planets in Virgo in my chart in the sixth house. And the sixth house is about health and work routines. So for me, I'm naturally feeling guided to optimize my health and well being, to do a first layer of preparing my home for the change of season. We are going into what's called the dark half of the year, which just means that the days are getting shorter. If you notice, the days are significantly or noticeably getting shorter now, and there's beginning to be, again, more of an equality between dark and light throughout the day, which is why it's a time of balance. But we're moving into the dark part of the year, which is ultimately more about going within. So for me, I'm feeling guided this weekend. I'm going to spend some time just creating some little refreshing the sacred nesting of my home for myself. And that I naturally feel that way because Virgo is in my sixth house, and that is the natural placement of Virgo. So for me, it's really impacting me in the way of just wanting to organize my home. I'm actually taking the next few days to get caught up on computer work, creative projects that are connected to my online course that's coming up in October, which, by the way, there's still time to sign up for. I'll show you some information on that in a little bit. So just pause and ask yourself what you naturally feel like. Typically, when it's the day of the actual new moon, we feel a little bit lethargic. Even though it's a new energy cycle starting, the new moon is when there's like no light in the sky. And so it has an effect on our physical bodies and just feeling a little bit sluggish. Let me know if you're a person who feels that. I feel that every new moon. For me and myself, that's the challenge of doing the new moon videos is my body feels like, ugh, I just want to like chill. But I have a passion for living in alignment with the cycles and seasons of nature, and a passion for sharing these teachings with all of you because I really, really believe in the value of living in alignment with the cycles and seasons of nature. So if you look at the chart here, you'll see a big triangle in the middle, and that is connecting the sun, Pluto, and Uranus. And then Jupiter is connected in with that as well, from the sun to Jupiter. So this is called a grand trine. A trine is a beneficial aspect, a supportive aspect, and it's in earth signs. And so this is even more emphasizing the themes that I spoke of earlier that are connected to earth energy, working on nurturing and nourishing your physical health and well-being of your body, the physical well-being of your home environment, finding your flow, finding your balance. Intuitively speaking, I feel really focused on Pluto, which is hanging out up there at the 28 degrees of Capricorn. We have just a few more months before Pluto makes its transition into Aquarius. And so I feel like Pluto here at the 28th degree of Capricorn is encouraging us to revisit what do we need to sharpen? What do we need to wrap up, maybe? It's a revisiting, because Pluto's retrograde right now. So it's revisiting the themes that have been going on actually since 2008. That's how long Pluto's been in Capricorn. And we're just a few months away of it transitioning out, with the exception of one last short retrograde that we'll be doing. But I really feel that it's completion time in regard to preparing for a new vision, a new focus. And that also is connected to this new moon cycle that we're in the way that, in accordance to indigenous wisdom teachings, this moon cycle is very connected to connecting with your personal truth. It's connected to nurturing whatever you are wanting to dream into being around the corner. And in this like nesting energy that we're doing right now, this nurturing of our sacred space in our most intimate, private part of life, our bodies, our home. It's a lot about actually holding space, creating a fertile ground for whatever wants to blossom as we're, going to be coming into the end of winter and spring. We're just now going into the very beginnings of those sort of nesting, going inward type of times. And Pluto is very much supporting that in bringing our awareness to any last little touches, little finesses, little last energies that we're putting towards mastery of particular skills that we maybe have been developing as it's been in Capricorn. And then with the Uranus aspect, Uranus is also retrograde right now, but Uranus is about unexpected change, flashes of insight. It can be like an energy that shakes things up. I don't want to say the word disruption, but it can be seen that way. It's shaking up things that where we need to be shaken up. It's making us unstuck, or relieving us, or liberating us from any old energetic densities or stagnations that we're ready to release and let go of. So Uranus is bringing our awareness to those types of themes. And a really good way to support the liberating of those old energetic stagnations is physical movement, whether that's walking, hiking, some form of physical activity. Physical activity is really the best way to get energy circulating in our energy bodies. It starts with our physical body, right? And so you'll see, if you look to the left, you'll see that there's actually a kite formation sideways. And the kite formation is created by that trine between the Sun, Pluto, and Uranus. And then we have an opposition between the Sun and Neptune in Pisces, Neptune and Pisces. So the Sun is shining its light on Neptune and Pisces, which brings our awareness to our intuition, our deep unconscious intuitions, and our deep and unconscious creative ambitions. So this is a time of paying attention to where there might be a little inspiration, ambition being illuminated deep within you around creativity. And then Neptune is making a sextile aspect with both Pluto and Uranus, which you can see in the chart. Pluto is what I circled at the top, and Uranus is at the very bottom of that left side of the large triangle. And so Pluto and Uranus are bringing our attention to our intuition and our creativity around With the Pluto, I feel like it's skills that we're refining in preparation for bringing them out into the world, because that's basically what the big theme is. With Pluto getting ready to go into Aquarius after being in Capricorn since 2008, Pluto in Capricorn has been very much about honing our growth, honing our skills, honing our sense of long-term goals and how we contribute to our life. And then once it goes into Aquarius, it's time to bring all those things out into the world. So Neptune right now is supporting us and connecting with our intuition along the lines of those themes, while the Neptune and Uranus sextile, I feel, is guiding us to think outside of the box. Thinking outside of the box might look like, for some of us, um, taking a chance and following our intuition when we don't usually, right? How has the inspiration to think outside of the box been sort of knocking on the door of your deep unconscious self? Ask yourself that. Jupiter is in that grand trine as well, which is expansion. However, Jupiter, I believe, is retrograde right now, so it's internal growth. So again, focusing on noticing the growth that we have already done, noticing what we've outgrown and that we're ready to move on from, and noticing what we're ready to grow into. These are the overarching energies that are showing up right now with this new moon. And I feel like there was one more thing. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about the Mercury opposing Saturn. Saturn has been in Pisces for a while now. It's going to be there for like 3 years altogether. And Saturn is a lot about responsibility. It's about rules, regulations, government, time, things like that. But when it's in Pisces, the thing that I keep tuning into about this, it's our dedication towards our soul path, our soul growth, our spiritual awareness, the expansion of our awareness, the mastery of our awareness, our responsibility to ourselves that we all have towards our soul evolution. Like, I believe that we do all have a moral obligation towards our growth. And we're either doing that consciously or unconsciously, or we're resisting it consciously or unconsciously. So these themes are showing up. Are you a person who's consciously embracing with gladness those themes around your personal growth, or are you resisting it? Ask yourself that. And if you are resisting it, ask yourself why. You might be resisting it because you don't know how to grow. You might be resisting it because you don't feel like you have the support for that in your life right now. But if that's the case, there's always ways to resolve those things. And with Mercury opposing Saturn right now, and Mercury getting ready to go direct, it feels like we can have awarenesses. Maybe we've been striving to gain awarenesses around how we can move forward in our soul evolution growth, in our mastery of awareness. And now with Mercury going direct opposed Saturn, this can be a time over this lunar cycle where we can have those awarenesses that we've been striving to gain. So I feel like this is a really magical time in the way that it's very much supporting us all, again, in recentering, reconnecting with alignment with our personal frame, meaning our own energies, reconnecting with life, with the cycles of life, reconnecting with our personal truths. And let me go ahead and just quit sharing this now. There we go. Okay, so I, of course, want to read a few cards to get some extra messages for us. This is going to be for the collective today. I'm going to pull 3 cards using my Light Seers Tarot, which is my new deck that I've been using pretty much exclusively since I got it. I'm really loving it. By the way, some of you have been asking me about my tarot course. I do teach tarot. And as some of you know, I've been behind the scenes working on a whole new website that's going to be a new online learning platform for the courses that I offer. And I will be offering a tarot course in 2024. In a few weeks, on October 7th, launches my intuition development course. It's an amazing course. In fact, before I read the cards, let me go ahead and just show you real quick here what I wanted to show you about this course. I just want to show you the new website because I tried to show it to you last week and it didn't show up on this with this streaming thing that I'm using here. So hold on one second. Let me share my screen. Dun, dun, dun. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully you guys can see that. Let me see where I'm at right here. Okay. This is not the right view. Let me go back to another view here. Let me remove this and go back to another view. If I can, if it's not working, then I'll just post a link down here. Stop screen. And hold on, guys, bear with me. Sorry. Share screen, share screen. Do I want to do the entire screen? No. Okay, let me try this once again and see if I'm going to be able to scroll from here. Okay, yeah. So this is it scrolling? Let me open this bigger. Nope, it's not scrolling. Okay, exit full screen. Anyway, what I wanted to show you isn't working out that great, but if you look on the top left, you'll see where it says Earth Wisdom School of Healing Arts. The new website is earthwisdomschool.com, and if you go to earthwisdomschool.com and scroll down, you'll see the link that will bring you to all of the details for my Empowering Intuition, Decoding the Language of Your Soul course. And so I'm going to go ahead and get out of that. And let me just read a few cards for you here. You can also access the details of my upcoming course on my usual website, holisticspsychic.com. If you go to holisticspsychic.com, right on the front page, you'll see a little image for the course. Just click on it and it will bring you to the page that I just showed you, and you can read all the details and sign up for it. There's even monthly payment plan options to make it really easy to take the course. And I do want to say that this fall is the only time I'm going to be teaching the course, probably until next fall, because I'm going to be uploading all the other course material for my other courses. So now is the time to jump in on that. Okay, so here we go here. Okay, this is so funny. The Justice card came up and I got the Justice card for myself last night as I pulled a card for myself. So we have the Justice card. I'm going to show them to you in a moment here. The Justice card, the Moon card, and the Ten of Swords. This is really interesting. The Justice card is a lot about balance. It's karmic balance. It speaks of embracing the energies of honesty and integrity as tools for achieving harmony and balance. The Moon card, when the Moon card comes up, it comes up because we are being influenced by what has primarily been deep unconscious knowings, awarenesses, intuitions that are bubbling to the surface of our conscious mind now. So this is connected to, what I've already said based on the intuitive insights that were coming and the astrology. But this also reminds us to be true to our authentic nature. The wisdom teachings around this card are very connected to honoring, embodying, embracing, fortifying our deep, authentic nature of us, our real nature, not the roles that we play in life. And that's what the animals are at the top. And in this deck, they're showing at the top. It's like a dog and a wolf or coyote maybe, but that's about, literally howling at the moon, right? Like our wild, primitive, authentic, untamed soul nature is what we want to allow ourselves to drop into. This is a part of connecting with our personal truths. It's not just the truth in our awareness, but the truth of who we are. And this is a part of recentering in our own frame, meaning our own energy. And then the Ten of Swords, this is us being liberated from anything that has been worrisome energies, fearful energies, uncertainty. The Ten of Swords in general can show us where we've gotten ourselves out of alignment through there being almost like an overtaking of the mind, being bombarded with what I collectively call shadow thinking, which is the worries, the fears, the concerns, the uncertainties. So, but when this card comes up, we can be liberated. And the 10 of Swords, we're liberated from anything that has been the entrappings of those shadow thinkings. And we can rise into clarity of awareness once again. The key to this is not in overthinking, but actually allowing ourselves some spaciousness in our mind so that those deep intuitive knowings can rise up to our conscious awareness, and that guidance from the divine can arise into our conscious awareness. So collectively, we all are being supported in these things. And then, of course, if you would like your own individual reading about where we're at with this lunar season or where we're at with the season of fall coming in, simply reach out at holisticpsychic.com. Check out my website for info on the course that starts October 7th. As I said, there's still time to sign up. I'm super psyched about the course. I'm going to be working on some finishing details with the course at home this weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, post them in the comments below, and I will reply, or simply reach out through my website. Okay, guys, blessings, namaste. I'm going to at least see you all here for a live stream on the next full moon. The fall equinox video that I put up. I don't know if I'm going to do that live or pre-recorded, but I will be coming on for that as well. And I look forward to seeing you around the corner. All my love, and have a blessed weekend.